Did you? Hey,
Yeah, I got a
guys,
haircut.
we are live coming at you for another Sunday session. And um, yeah, Sunday night webinars for 100xcryptoacademy.com. Yeah, last week I didn't have my mic didn't work, and I found out what the problem was. The software needed to be updated on Windows, which stopped the microphone being used, even though I knew it worked. That's why I couldn't talk. So I figured out the problem.
Yeah.
Software updates, guys. So always check your updates and stuff. It's always good to keep everything up to date with your drivers and stuff because shit stops working, especially for Windows because that's normal. It's just constantly things screw up.
Yeah, I don't really have that problem on Mac. Occasionally shit goes wrong and I just got to reboot it, but that's about it. Pretty fortunate, I suppose. But
Yeah.
I am locked into whatever Apple says. If Apple says this is the way, that's the way you have to follow. Whereas, at least with Windows, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's it. So anyway, with tonight, guys, we're going to pretty much have a chat. Talk about the normal stuff that we talk about, and just a few other things. But so yeah, if you're tuning in, you can ask questions. Or you can ask questions later. But yeah, what about your week? How's your week been?
Been pretty good. Been pretty busy, and the weeks went pretty quickly. God, I was just trying to think what else majorly happened. Oh, that's right. The interest rates going up again, or they went up again. So every month, like the first Tuesday of the month, the RBA gets together and the interest rates have been going up, right? And they've been going up a lot. And this is sort of going to continue to be a thing. So every time the interest rates go up, essentially people people that have houses, mortgages, their interest, what they're going to pay, their repayments has got to go up, and it's been going up for months and months and months. It's pretty crazy, and it's at the moment, it's there because they want to stop this whole inflation thing. And what it's doing is it's really increasing the amount of the repayments so much higher. And on people have borrowed like $500,000 kind of thing, right? So what happens is if they keep raising interest rates, that really is like a big chunk of money added to what they did like maybe 12 months ago. So anyone that can't afford any of these rate increases, they basically have to sell, and get out of their mortgage. So we've already seen house prices drop by 10% so far. But what will happen is the RBA will continue to raise because of the inflation still high here. And they'll just keep raising it. It's very similar to what they're doing in the States. They're just going to keep raising it. And then what's going to happen is people are going to start defaulting on their loans and
Yeah.
start selling. And we're going to see a drop in prices because there's going to be a lot of turnover. But we've got a really big influx of migrants. So the government's bringing in 300,000 in the last 12 months. 300,000 people have come into Australia, and all of them want housing. So we have this housing crisis where there's not enough houses being made and places to live. So the rent's really high, and there's just so many people crammed into trying to get into housing. And at the same time, you've got these high interest rates. And then most of the places that are rented, they're also putting the rents up as well because interest rates are going up. So it's kind of like normally
Right.
what would happen is they would sell off, the valuations would go down and maybe rents would go down. But because there's such a huge demand of people influx coming into the country, immigrants, what's happening is that's forcing, there's not enough, actual buildings and stuff like that. So it's a real interesting situation, and I'm not sure really what's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to be good whichever way.
Yeah, no, it's I mean I've even heard Biden talk about it. He's like, oh, they're going to raise interest rates, and the economists they all um, they all do this tactic, and it's to the higher interest rates make it more expensive for people to borrow money and encourage people to save. Overall, that means people will tend to spend less. If people spend less on the goods and services overall, the prices of things tend to rise more slowly. Slower price rises mean lower rate of inflation. So that's their version of combating inflation. But how did this all inflation get in there? Like become inflation go high? It's like makes no sense. That the inflation is caused by them, and then it's I don't know. But anyway, so anyway, today we're just going to breeze over a couple things, and then I'll bring it over to Garth. There was a couple of things I just wanted to quickly touch on, and first of all, Celsius. So Celsius, we know what happened with them last year. Oh, actually, yeah, last year. Alex, what's his name? Malinsky. He basically screwed everyone over, and they just made some bad investments, and people basically lost all their money. Here it says 365 days later, some Celsius customers can withdraw their funds. So I'm not even bothered. Like, I have funds in Celsius, but it's not massive amount of money, so I'm just not going to worry about it. I tried to log into my account before, and it just said I was under maintenance. And here's a funny thing, Garth. They did a tweet and they said, "Oh, we're under maintenance," and oh my god, the hate that they got, because like, why would you tweet that? That they're under maintenance makes no sense, because no one's been able to use the app for the last year. No one's been able to withdraw. So what is the point of saying, "Hey, we're under maintenance, guys"? No one cares, right? No one cares. So anyway, here they're saying, this article here, they're just saying certain customers that meet certain eligibility requirements laid down in the court filing are only eligible for the progress. For instance, pure custody account assets that were never in the earned program or borrow program, and will be transferred directly to the custody program, will be able to withdraw. So just, I don't know whether that's you or me. I don't think it's me, but
I don't know.
just wait till the sorry?
I said I might try and log in and see what it says.
Yeah, just wait till you can log in and just see if you can actually withdraw any money. Because if you can, I'd just be like trying to get it as fast as you can. Because yeah, it's not.
It says Celsius. This is on the app. Celsius system is under maintenance. We are working on regular maintenance, and the service will be available soon. Sorry for inconvenience.
Well, it's been like that for a while, a couple of days, I think. So anyway, that's that. So keep an eye on that if you had funds in Celsius. Really, I'm not getting my hopes up, but anyway, it's something there for you guys. So Casper's still plugging along, and yeah, I think it's going to be one of those gems that hopefully can do well in the next bull run. We were talking about Casper before. It's, let's see, in the last 30 days, it's up 15.4% in the last 30 days. So you can, and I've done a video on this, you can, and there's a whole host of these second tier, lower tier. They're layer ones, but they're less known. So I think these are the ones that will do well in the next bull run. They'll do 10, 20x. So we'll see how Casper goes. I mean, they never reached the all-time high. I mean, Casper all-time high was $1.38, $1.33. It's 4 cents now. I don't think it'll reach the all-time high, but I think it can still do a 10x, 10 or 20x. We'll see next bull run. So that's Casper, and it's decentralized, fully decentralized. So here you can see my account here. I'm just, I've got here 11,000 Casper, and it's just ticking me over. It's just ticking over, and I've got 273 rewards, which is about $11.38. You can roll that over once it gets to 500. So obviously, you need to put way more than that for it to tick over. If you want to roll this over every week, you're probably going to need 4,000 or 5,000, maybe 10,000. But you can just go to your stake and rewards and see the stake and rewards come in pretty much daily. It's not a lot, but it's still ticking over. You can see how many comes in a day. There's tons coming in a day. So that's Casper. I think it'll do well. Again, it's one of those long-term plays. Don't expect much from it, but I think it's one of those coins that just to keep an eye out because it's it's one of those blockchains that's going to be good. So anyway, keep an eye on this one. Another one, Gold Shell. They released their new miner apparently, and this Gold Shell miner, which is this one here, this is a mini Doge 2. So this one gives you like Dogecoin and Litecoin. You can mine it, and it gives you 2 coins. It just depends on what pool you mine it. But I thought this one was interesting because it's only $495 for this miner, and it's pretty much a Litecoin miner. But they just call it a Doge miner. 420 mega hash per second, which is pretty good actually. The price is $491. Apparently, this thing's making about 68 cents a day, depending on your electricity costs, between 20 to 68 cents a day. Now, that might seem a lot of money, and it isn't. Okay, you would see 420 mega hash per second, and that might seem a lot, and it isn't, right? But think of it this way: if you've got several of these machines just running, and you're making this Dogecoin and you're also getting this Litecoin at the same time, right? You've got to look at it long term because it's the only way that you're going to make money in mining. You got to look at long term. Dogecoin can go back to all-time highs, and can Litecoin go back up to like $300, $350? Because if it goes back up to $350, Litecoin goes back up to $350. You're going to be making pretty good coin from this machine. Like this machine could be making you $1 or $2 a day, but then when you look at the cost, how much you paid for it, so you got to be down to maybe 150, 200 days, even less. So yeah, it's just something there that people. And this sold out as well. This is all sold out. So people are still buying this stuff because if you look at it long term, it could turn out to be good long term. If you look at the price of Litecoin long term, if you look at the price of Dogecoin long term, what could they be in 5 years' time? If you look at it that way, yeah, of course, you might only be paying 20 cents or 60 cents a day now, but in 5 years' time, what will those be worth? They could be worth $5 or $10. Could be worth $10. You know what I mean? So that's the way you got to look at it, and that's the only way to look at it with mining, because mining is not really that profitable right now. So that's that. But it just goes to show people still buying this stuff. It's crazy. There was something else. I forgot what it was actually, to be honest. Oh yeah. You guys know about Canafox, all right? So we mentioned this one probably early this year, beginning of the year, I think. I mean, Jesus, March now. It's going like crazy. But yeah, this was probably one of our first webinars that we did for 2023, and this is one that I got into last year, but I didn't really talk about it because it just started and it was a bit touch and go. But they're making progress. But basically, Canafox is you buy this NFT, and that NFT, depending on which NFT you buy, it gives you access to the profits. So at the moment, Site 1, I think Site 2 might have also been sold out. I haven't checked, but Site 1 was sold out. And basically how it works is they have X amount of NFTs per site, and per site is like here the Site 1. I think it might be 2 or 3 containers. I'm not sure. But basically what they do is they do like a in grow. So they build these containers insulate them, and then they put grow lights in them, and then they grow cannabis, because cannabis is legal in Thailand, right? So this is Thailand thing, and according to which NFT you buy, gives you and how many you buy gives you the profits of what you're entitled to with of each site. So they're saying here, as of March, we are now full of all the containers that are allocated to investors, and also our own units. So the work now really starts. We completed 80% of the construction of our mother room and clone room. Has been up and running for several months. We have huge stocks of clones, which are in the bedroom, yada yada yada. We talk about that. So apparently there's going to be a payout in March. So I'll let you know if that happens. And then the site 2, which is they're still putting into effect. They're talking about the distribution here. We are continually working with wholesale and retail customers. So they're going to sell the cannabis at a going rate, right? But also what they're doing is they're setting up their own dispensaries, and dispensaries are basically their own shops to sell. And so that's going to be interesting over the next 18 months. And then they've got a nursery as well. So nursery is going to be like, hopefully, if people want to buy their clones, that can sell them, that'll be another income stream. It's going to be very interesting in this project. I'm definitely interested in it. Well, I'm already invested in it, but the thing is, my only concern, like I said in the last webinar when I told you guys about this, is the laws with Thailand, and that's coming up in May, and then there's going to be probably 2 or 3 months after that. So it's probably going to be mid-year by the time May, June, July. It's probably going to be like mid-year. It depends on when the government comes in on what's going to happen with the cannabis bill, because they squashed it, the current government. And so there's an election in May, all right? So whatever the government gets in, then they're going to obviously, they've got to agree to push that through if it's pro-cannabis. And then that's going to be a big if, right, which is going to impact this particular NFT project. That's why it's risky if you invest in it. But I think what will happen is cannabis will still continue. They'll just regulate it more, and they'll be able to monitor it more, squash get all the people out, because there's heaps of people selling this stuff illegally and growing it illegally. So once they figure that out, I think that they will. It's not going to go away. There's always going to be cannabis now that it's somewhat legal in Thailand. So that's that project, and I'll keep you guys updated with it. I think it's a good project. Definitely different. But again, it's a lot of risk to this one, and just the current Bitcoin market and everything else. I think what you're going to talk about too, that's just heaps of projects that are just falling apart because they, for whatever how they set up their the project or what the moving parts are. It's, I think, and that's the thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't have many moving parts. It's just like, it's proof of work. You mine it, you get it. Most of the supply is already out, and people determine, whoever buys it and sells it determines the price. That's it. There's there's all that layer 1 stuff, the smart contract stuff and all that, but that's not a big component of it. And the Lightning on top, that sits on top, is more for distribution. That's more for people wanting to use it and get access to it. But as in manipulation, there's people that are always going to buy it and sell it. But I think it's probably there's always people that will try to manipulate it, but because it's such a big volume market cap, it's going to get harder and harder once this reaches over 1 trillion market cap. It's going to be harder to move the price. I mean, it's hard to move the price of Bitcoin now, but I mean, once it gets to double, you're going to, taking billions of dollars to move the price, to manipulate the price. So yeah, just keep hodling, keep buying your Bitcoin, because that seems to be the only one that's good to go these days. That's just my kind of like little take on a few things that I wanted to talk about at the moment. But if I think of anything else, I think I forgot something. But anyway, yeah, we might just go to you, Garth, because I know you wanted to share some stuff.
Yeah, cool. All right, I've got my screen shared here. Can you see that?
Yep.
So I just want to cover a couple of topics that maybe some people missed during the week. One of the biggest one is Silvergate. So Silvergate stock plunges after delayed filing. So they have to do annual financial reports, and they're postponing that, right? So it's made headlines, and as soon as this happened, the stock plummeted. Now plummeted by 50%, so it lost half of its value on March 2nd, which was only like 3 days ago. Now, MicroStrategy and Tether, they said that they have no exposure to the bank, but there is a lot of other associated crypto projects. For example, you got Coinbase, Circle, Bitstamp, Galaxy Digital, Paxos. They all had partnerships with Silvergate, right? And now this is going to be a problem, because if they turn out to go bankrupt, then any of these other ones existing that have exposure to Silvergate, essentially that means they're going to be bringing losses into whatever project it is. So this is negative news, and it's still not completely out yet. There's basically the stock price has dropped, but who knows? Silvergate could be going to zero if they basically go bankrupt. So that is, watch out for that one. Now, it just means you got to be careful about I suppose it's like FTX, which is the next thing. FTX, they've announced that there's been a massive shortfall in the assets versus their currency holders. So what they thought they had and what they had, that it was a huge thing. So I think it was $8.6 billion deficit across all wallets. I mean, that's a huge amount of money. But that's basically what they've come up with now, that they don't have the assets there. So I think also Singh also pleaded guilty to a couple of things that prosecutors put to him. Also, I think you covered Celsius with the withdrawals, and that was for only a few things. Also, Elizabeth Warren, which is United States Senator, they've basically asked Binance CEO Changpeng of Binance to basically hand over the balance sheet. They want to see if he's evading money, because essentially, the government wants their cut. And they're basically saying he's laundering $10 billion. So whether this is true or not, this is just another way. Like, I can't see Binance, staying in the States when they've got so much against them. Now, one of the biggest things too, I don't think it's in this article, I'll probably talk about in a second, which is BUSD, and how we saw Paxos, they're the ones that actually issue BUSD. And it's been, really good coin. We've talked about BUSD in the past, but it has lost a massive amount of value sort of in the last month. So it's actually lost over 43%. And this is because they were sued. So Paxos, this is February 13, Paxos was sued. They were told to stop stop minting Binance branded stablecoin. And this is because of SEC to sue them for violating investor laws, right? So this is the problem with like the SEC and the United States. If they just want to destroy something, they just go, we're going to sue you. And because they're in that country, they're going to get sued for lots of money. So that's why they've basically stopped it. Now, because they've stopped minting it, people are like, don't want to be left with a bag or anything like that. So they've been basically fleeing BUSD, and everyone, even I think I think Coin, what was it? There was a few. So yeah, Coinbase. That's right. Coinbase suspended BUSD as well. So there's a whole bunch of places that are not using BUSD. Now, if we jump over to DeFi Llama and have a look at the stable market, right, you'll see what's going on. So you can see how, and I'll get to Tether in a second. So Tether is still at 71 billion market cap, followed by USDC at 43. Now, Binance BUSD is at 8.8 billion. See how last month it's dropped its market cap by 45%. That is huge. So all that value has been lost because of this whole SEC. But what happened? Most of the money flowed into True USD. You can see it ranking here, True USD, which has gone up 22%. So basically, investors have went, we're getting out of BUSD because of what's going on, but we're going to jump into True USD. So that's what you see going on here, and this will probably continue. I wouldn't be surprised if True USD becomes default and will go above DAI and swap out. It might be the third biggest stable coin shortly. That's what I sort of predict. And the other interesting thing about Tether is if we jump into, I think I've got the article here. I'll just see if I've got the article. Let's have a quick look. I was having a look on Twitter, and it was talking about what was going on, I think, with Tether. Actually, I don't have the article here, but if you go into Twitter, and I think it was like one of the search, it was a hashtag. I think it was hashtag. What was it? I think of a second. It was basically to do with Tether. That was hashtag Tether, and there was all these things that were going on with it. Now, there was. Do you remember, like even back in 2017, we used to talk about Tether, and we used to say, "Hey, look, it was one of those coins where it never showed that it was backed by anything." And everyone worried. We thought Tether was going to fall over, and they will always print new Tether and stuff like that. Well, I've been having a look at the latest thing. Now, this particular clip right here, this guy here works with Tether. He was interviewed and basically said, this is by quote, "We fundamentally don't know where the assets are," referring to Tether, "holding are," which is on purpose. That's a feature, not a bug. You can watch this interview. I'll put the link in there. And basically what he's saying is they don't disclose nor know where the assets of Tether are, even though they print it. So this is just another confirmation that Tether is like literally printing money. This would be like FTX. This would be like Terra Luna. Eventually it's going to come out. I mean, we've been calling this since 2017. We've always stayed away from Tether, right? You and I both. And because they disclose no backing whatsoever. And they say it's there to protect their investors, but it's deliberate. There is nothing going on. Now, Tether just printed, I think, another $500 million or something like that in the last day or so. So every time Tether prints, usually Bitcoin pumps. So that's what we witnessed during the bull market as well. So it's very interesting, but I would not be holding any stable coins, especially Tether. I still feel like that's going to fall over at some stage. And remember, Tether is way up there. I think it's number 2 on CoinGecko. Yeah, number 3. So Tether, huge market cap. So can you imagine? It'd be like FTX, same sort of thing. All the people that are exposed to Tether, if that unraveled. And it is possible. It's just there's nothing actually keeping that there because they cannot even prove that the assets are against it. So I really feel that Tether's not safe at all to be in. And, not many of the stable coins. There might be some good ones, but yeah, there's definitely some problems with those. Probably much better off being in Bitcoin than in Tether or anything like that. So that was I think the latest news. There was also some stuff here in Australia where they're doing a CBDC pilot. for the Australian to do with the RBA, like basically a central bank digital currency. And they're going to do it with, try and do it with ANZ, MasterCard, plus a few other banks. So I don't know if this will pan out, because I've heard this. I felt like every year I've heard something about CBDCs in Australia, but nothing's really come of it. So, but yeah, just another pilot that they're doing. But yes, I suppose it's some positive news there. So all in all, with sort of that information I've given you there, the main takeaway is there is going to be some more downside due to this Silvergate, right? That's going to be affecting the market. We're all going to see, the changes of Binance, because that's going to keep plummeting. It's basically going to be wiped out. And you got to remember that the US is probably wants Binance out of the picture as well. So if they could, they would probably want to get rid of BNB. I don't know how, that they'll do well in the States, but it just depends. I'm just not sure how BNB is going to go. It might dump if it's in the States, but I'm not sure how it's going to affect the other countries, because it is big in other countries. So it'd be interesting. But yeah, just be prepared for that, for the downside. But at the same time, it does not change the fact that Bitcoin is probably the safest thing out of all these projects at the moment, which we always talk about, and is still really good value right now. So yeah, just sharing some thoughts.
Thanks for that, Garth. Yeah, what I would do is I wouldn't get too carried away with all the stuff that you read and that you see. That's one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Here, this tweet, Elon Musk. I used to be in crypto. Now I got interested in AI. I thought that was a funny tweet. Because basically what he says is, people are just like, they treat this guy like a god, and I think he's pretty successful lately. Put it that way, everything he does is pretty much just goes his way. Just blows up, which is good, because he wasn't like that not long ago. So so I thought that tweet was pretty funny. I mean, we're still in crypto. Yeah, we're interested in AI too. But we still haven't seen the big, like, black swan event, in my opinion, in AI. We haven't seen it yet in crypto. So yeah, we'll see what happens. And look, all this stuff is all happening in NFTs, right? And you see the stuff on Facebook, you see the stuff on different Twitter and everything. It's like, I know the latest and greatest thing. I saw this tweet the other day with this guy is talking about the NFTs with what was that? The one I did not long ago. Anyway, it was the Creepies. Yeah, Creepies, and he's like, I really firmly believe in. I'm all in. I truly trust in whatever hashtag who that dude was who created Creepies. And I looked at that tweet and I thought, there you go. That says it all, because people, when they got their mind set on something, they become a tribalist. And they just like, nothing will sway. They can go to shit. People can embezzle the money and they can just sell it off. You can tell them anything they want. They still will like, nah, I'm 100% because of this guy, and this is the mistake they make, because humans make mistakes all the time. It's just that's what people do. They just make mistakes, and sometimes they don't do it purposely, or it happens out of their control. Sometimes they purposely do it, and they scam people, right? So that's the biggest thing. Don't trust one particular entity. Don't go blindly into something that, hey, you know what? I'm going to blindly trust this person. So this stuff here that you hear all the time, right? I get these emails, I get all these tweets all the time. This and this, doing this. You get left behind. Blah blah blah. They use this rhetoric, and I just laugh my ass off when I hear it. I'm like, if you're not in this, then you're going to lose, and all this sort of stuff. That's what that person believes. That's what those people in that project believe. How many people in that project? I don't know, 100, 200? 200 people in that project believe that that's going to happen. And how big is the project? It's only tiny, all right? It's not going to do anything. We're not missing out on anything. So don't, whenever you hear this stuff, don't, in my opinion, don't buy into it. It's like stuff that you hear in the mainstream news. Don't just take it with a grain of salt, right? If you miss out on this opportunity, they saying it's going to be the latest and greatest, you're not going to miss out. You're not going to miss out on anything. It's not a lifetime opportunity. Now, this other thing too, which this is the latest and greatest thing, right? When they're talking about art, art and everything, right? Which is Masterworks, and the whole idea of you can now become the selling pitch is really good, and basically the art world is highly manipulated, and it's only got access to the rich people, and they block out certain people and certain companies and certain people that want to get into it. They purposely block them out, or they want to deal with them because they want to keep it amongst just the people that have got the money, and that's how they keep the price of these works of art up. We're talking Da Vinci's, we're talking the Mona Lisas, all those huge paintings with famous painters. So this thing is really appealing because you can come along and all of a sudden now you can buy these real, so they claim, artworks that being sold on these reputable platforms, and it's kind of like ties in with sort of crypto in a way because it's not related 100% to crypto, but it's kind of like related to it because it's digital, and they're buying the actual art themselves, right? And then you can get a portion of that, just like the ultra rich do. Now you get access to all these $1 million paintings. Well, it's a scam. So it's not a scam, outright scam. It's like a scam that is so difficult for you to make money with this that it's almost like a scam, but it's all legal, right? And how these clowns work is they do this. They go out and buy this artwork, right? And then they open up an LLC for every artwork. And then investors come in and they buy a percentage of that, a portion of that artwork, right? But you don't actually own the artwork. Let's say they go out and buy this famous painting and there's, I don't know, 1,000 shares. You're thinking that you're buying into the painting. So you go out and buy 10 shares. You believe that out of that 1,000 shares that you own 10 shares, which is like 1%, if my maths is right. I could be wrong. But anyway, you get what I mean, right? So what happens is when they sell that thing later, you can get your profit because you own a certain amount of shares, and you only get your profit, right? No. What they do is they get this artwork, they create an LLC, and then you become, whatever you purchase becomes part of that LLC, and they can manipulate it, charge you fees. It's basically a borderline scam, and where they make their money is from the fees. They charge you ridiculous fees, and they just smash you until you just go, I've had enough. You want to sell out and make any money. So, in my opinion, I would just stay away from this. It sounds good, but it's not. And don't invest into art. You got to get this digital ownership of art. So it's not exactly NFTs or crypto. It's digital. So this guy here, Scott Schaefer, he's got a really good YouTube channel. Basically, you can think of this guy as the mini-me of CoffeeZilla. And he's exposed other scams in the past, but watch this video and you're never going to touch Masterworks ever again. He's got some really good videos, and I highly recommend you subscribe to his channel because, like CoffeeZilla, he's like straight up, and he's got really good information, and they basically just they can't repute it, So that's that. And so what I'm saying is this: all these scams that are out there, like Masterworks is not a scam, but it's almost a scam because you're not going to make any money. The only people that are going to make the money are the people that run the place, that run it. And my point is this: these NFTs, these latest and greatest things that people are talking about on crypto, talking about on NFT space, talking about in the metaverse, right? You don't get in. I'm not trying to be negative or anything, but I'm just struggling to wrap my head around something that's really going to be a good thing. It's going to be around in the next 5 years. Because right now, what I'm saying is nothing is going to be around. These NFTs, these metaverses, certainly these metaverses, they're not going to be around. They're just like a money grab. And I would say, just be very careful when you get into this stuff because unless you're thinking about it short term, that's fine. Just go into it, flip it, get out. But there's a high risk to that because you're trying to make fast money, and in the process, you can get absolutely raped. And that's basically what happened with this. All right, have a look at this. So this project here, this is crazy. When I absolutely saw this, I'm like, what is going on with people? So this is like this NFT project, right? It's called Xmon. And look at the price, 4,843 cents per token. There's 10,000 tokens. The second lane supply is 2,501, 511, right? So there's still, a fair few tokens out there that haven't been come out of the market. Someone owns them. It's the people that run the place own them. And I thought to myself, this one token, 40,000? Then I had a look at the actual project, and I was like, what the hell's going on here? Is this a scam? And then, if you go and have a look at the project, it's this neutral net generated pixel monsters powered by machine learning, right? And let's get this stupid little thing here. Now, I might be naive, but I'm looking at this thing and going, what the hell is going on here? And again, I haven't looked into it totally, but I know this. I know this much. This pixelated stuff, it's just, what is the future? What is a little pixelated art? How's that going to change your life? How's it going to bring value to this world? It's not. Okay, it's not. Now, if you go and have a look at Xmon, right? The only thing holding this price up is the supply. There's no value. And if you go and have a look at the history, yes, this thing was $76,000 a token. So whoever bought it at $76,000, I hope they're still not holding it, because this thing, when it moved, someone made some money because it dumped from 76,000 to 32,000. Imagine if you bought a token for 76,000,
Wow.
dropped, you would have lost $50,000 or $45,000. Now look at it; it's 4,500. So these are really high risk and big money in this because of this stupid bloody NFT machine learning crap. Like, what is it? There's no value. And if you go on OpenSea, you can have a look at the project. So just be very careful not to get sucked into this stuff. Look at this crap. Look at it.
12 ETH.
12 ETH, 14 ETH, $100,000. Yeah, someone actually owns this. But then again, you can look at the people who own it. It might be just all smoke and mirrors, or it could just be the admins, right? But who's going to buy into this crap? Look at it. They created that on Midjourney. Look at this stuff. Just be careful when you get into this stuff. Don't believe everything you hear, because there's a lot of people out there that are trying to fleece you, and they'll feed you anything just so you can invest in it, and then they can, cash out to Ethereum or Bitcoin, because that's where the real value is, not in this crap. So that's what I would say. Just be careful about all the stuff out there. It's pretty much, in my opinion, not financial advice, but most of the stuff there is just smoke and mirrors. and it's just going to bleed your wallet, in my opinion. And stay away from Masterworks. That's a shit show. Holy crap! So it's not looking good for crypto. All the stuff that we got into last year. Maybe you might be able to get into the the coins, like the what do you call it? IDO coins. Some of those IDO coins might pop off. So if you still like those S Fund and Downmaker, Trust Swap, TrustPad, maybe there was another one I saw pop off the other day. They're still talking about. So maybe have a look at it, because we did a lot of work in those, and we made quite a bit of cash from that. But I really don't see them coming back. I think that the IDOs are done. People have moved on. There'll be something new. That's just my opinion, but I could be wrong. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I just wanted to talk about. I know it's not really positive, but then again, it's you just got to be very careful what's happening out in the crypto space, because not only are these small projects taking money from people left, right, and center, and I haven't even touched on all these YouTubers promoting these scams, and I'm assuming they're still around, because I saw this post. This guy's like, 500 BNB invested into those BNB jobs. They into a smart contract, and they're like, they're going to pay you 15%, or something, some rubbish. They're still around, so I haven't even talked about them. I don't even bother talking about them anymore. They're just a waste of time. They're still around, and then you got people that are going to lose their money at the industrial level, which is Silvergate and that. So can you see how there's so much stuff happening in crypto that is not looking good for investors. But in my opinion, just if you want to play it safe, just buy Bitcoin and hold it, and that's it. End of story. Unless you got anything else you want to share, Garth.
I think I think that's about it. I've covered most of the stuff that I wanted to talk about. Obviously, it's negative, but you gotta put it out there, like, so you just got to be aware of it. You don't walk away from it. You just keep on DCAing into Bitcoin. That's the solution. If there was something better, we'd be going into that. But no one's planning on banning Bitcoin, and I don't think it's really going to happen. So yeah, and they're not going to. As far as I can see, Bitcoin is not going to be. SEC is not going to come after Bitcoin, because they know there is no one to come after. That's it. But if there is a organization with an office in the US, they're going to come after them. So
that's the thing.
I think that's
they can't come after Bitcoin because there is no office. But these
right.
other ones they can, like BNB, because it's run by people, companies, so they can come after them. So that's that's the thing. A lot of this stuff, it's just like I said, and what you said, we're not trying to be negative. We just don't want to take losses. Like we took some losses last year. We just don't want to repeat that. And if you don't learn from the mistakes you did in the past, then that's a real big problem. So we want to learn from the mistakes from the past. What this year has taught me is it's hardened me up, as you can tell. It's hardened me up big time. And I'm just not going to go into anything. I don't feel 100% confident. That's just the bottom line now. And all this other stuff that you see that pops up, I don't even bat an eyelid with it, because we've seen it all before. But to someone new, they would get sucked into it. So I don't mind it. I don't mind not getting into these things and missing out on those opportunities. Right? That's okay. I'm fine with that, because I know that those opportunities, it's like 1 in 1,000. So you're going to lose a ton of money getting into it before you find one that's really, really good. Do you really want to keep on investing into these projects that they say are going to make you rich, when most of the time they won't? They just won't. And unfortunately, it just happens in life that you just take losses along the way until you crack it and you get the one that does that make a difference, and that's just how it works. So what we learn in crypto is like what we learn in life, pretty much. You pretty much win very, very. You lose most of the time, but you will come across that one that you will win from. And it's pretty much like anything in life, That's what happens in everything, no matter what profession, what job, whether you're in crypto, whether you're not in crypto, whether you're in business, you're always going to take tons of losses along the way. But if you hit that one in the nail on the head and you're lucky to do what you want to do and you're passionate about it and you can make money from it, then you will do really well from it. And that's the one that counts. But other than that, mate, I didn't really want to say any more. What about yourself?
No, I think that's it. I'm happy with what we talked about this week. So,
Yeah.
and if we have anyone's got any questions, they just jump on into the Discord, and we'll be happy to answer anything in there too.
Yeah. So, stay positive, guys, and just take it with a grain of salt, is what I'm saying, and don't just jump into these things willy nilly. Keep an eye on crypto because there's still a lot of opportunity there, and like I said, the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then your smaller layer ones that we've spoken to many times before, and we share in Discord. Take advantage of those because they're not going to go away. I think they'll be around for a long time. So those layer ones will be good. AVAX, Algo, even Solana. All those layer ones we've spoken about before heaps of times. So there's those ones, and I'll continue to keep on stacking my Bitcoin. All right, guys. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good week, and we'll catch you guys next week.
See you guys. Bye.
See you guys.